Good morning. It's the 12th day of our deer season. Actually, the 12th day that we've been up here in our deer country, and we're breaking camp. I can't believe 12 days can go so fast. I always hate to have to go home, but the time has come. It's been a strange season. I think maybe we can blame it on global warming. There was hardly a day this year so far during our hunting season that the temperature wasn't up in the 60s, sometimes even got into the 70s, which is really unusual, and that's not good for deer hunting. Our whitetails up here are ready for winter. Their winter coats are fully formed. They survive 45 degrees below zero up in this country during the winter. We're just a few miles from the Canadian border here. When it gets that warm, they don't want to do anything. They just want to lay in the shade somewhere, and the heck with hunters. And they refuse to move. We don't see many deer. And that compounds the fact that our deer numbers are way down this year. About 5 years ago, we had a severe winter, and we lost 9 does and quite a number of younger bucks as well. And they really haven't recovered. We brought mineral blocks up here last June, the first part of June. Usually we do it the first part of May when bucks start growing their antlers. But we were a little late at it this year. But while we were here, this country was full of fawn tracks, pairs of fawn tracks. Most of our older does that are 2.5 years of age or older, had twins because last winter was very mild. Following a mild winter, that's pretty normal. But now, during this deer season, we've hardly seen a fawn track anywhere, which means our overabundant wolves have been added again. Since 1990, they've been eating 3 out of 4 of our fawns every year by November 1st. And when you got so few deer, it makes it hard for our deer numbers to recover. Once those wolves are taken off the endangered species list, maybe things will eventually start to turn around. But warm weather and strong winds. We had many days when the winds were over 15 miles an hour, which is usually the turning point. Deer don't like to be out moving around when the winds are strong because there's so much noise in the woods. They can't tell what sounds are made by dangerous things or just normal things. Branches banging together and grasses rustling and things like that. So, well, we had winds even yesterday that exceeded 30 miles an hour. That's tough for deer hunting. And as you notice, here we are in the far north and we have no snow. With that warm weather, no snow. In fact, we only had a little bit of rain once during the season, but no snow at all, which made it nearly impossible for us to use our special hunting method called opportunistic stand hunting. We need snow for that. We need to be able to find tracks wherever we go and be able to distinguish whether they're fresh or not. Well, this year, what we had to do is depend on finding fresh doe droppings because breeding is in progress. Breeding started on November 3rd in this area. And so we figured the only way we're going to see big bucks is to stick close to does. And the only way to stick close to does is to find their very fresh droppings, still shiny. And so that's what we've been doing. But it's been tough, I'll tell you, especially for this old man. You know, I'm 81. And I had open heart surgery last April, and here I am, and I've been through the worst of it here. My legs are getting better and better every day, and I'm good for quite a few more deer seasons, I hope. I didn't get one this year. I haven't seen one in the buck in the woods. All I've seen is does, and not very many of those. It's been kind of scarce. So I suppose I could say, well, these are all good reasons why the Nordberg gang didn't do so well this year. But surprise, we've done really well. So far, I've got a son and a grandson who are pretty good deer hunters out in the woods right now this morning. Haven't heard a shot yet, but if they get one this morning, that'll be number 4. And usually for our gang, that's more than we want. That gives us all the sausage and other sausages we care to eat during the coming year. And so once we get more, we usually quit. And that's good, especially in this country with deer numbers down like they are. We don't want to overhunt our deer. we have discovered we've got 4 super bucks in the area. We've got one that owns this area out here to my left. We got another one that owns the area up to the north here, and we've got 2 that are out northwest of here. And one of them really isn't in our deer country, but 2 of my son and grandson have been hunting another mile west where we've been hunting all these years. And each time, well, they've seen 2 of them. They had really wide spreads, much wider than their bodies, and long tines, and the kind you just dream about year after year. Well, anyway, despite the low number of deer, about 6 per square mile here, and despite the fact that last Monday, when my son was having a problem with his vehicle, we had to put in new bearings in the right front, and where we were hearing a lot of hunters saying, there's no more deer up here, the wolves have eaten, we might as well go home, because they hadn't been seeing any. Been very few shots in this country this season, really quiet, really strange, compared to back in 1990. But the Nordbergs have done all right. We've got 3 bucks. One is young, it's a yearling. We've got a 2.5-year-old 5-pointer, and then we got a 3.5-year-old 8-pointer. Nice buck. They're all nice bucks, and the venison is wonderful. We've had some very good venison heart here at deer camp already this year, and if they speak for the quality of the venison we have this year, these certainly do it. I tell you though, another problem we had when we did get a deer, we couldn't mess around. The first 2 had to be taken to a local butcher shop, and the first one got in there on opening day, and that worked all right, the big 8-pointer. And by the time my son left for home, he could pick up his butchered venison. When the second one was shot the next day, they couldn't take any more. They were flooded with deer carcasses to butcher. And so that son had to race home with his deer and get it into a local butcher shop where he lives down near Minneapolis. The third one, we decided we'll do it ourselves. My son John and I butchered it right here in the tent. One afternoon, didn't take us forever. It took us about 4.5 hours to butcher the whole thing. And excellent venison. And then, luckily, we got some 32-degree temperatures the first night, and we've had 32 at night every night since then. And it's keeping that venison in good shape. So it'll be fine for the trip home in the freezer. But that's been kind of the year it is. But you know, whether you get one or not, any day in deer camp is better than just about any day anywhere else. And we all love it so much up here. We love this country. Last year we didn't do very well, but that didn't keep us from coming back here again. And I'm just so glad we came back. But anyway, with this probable global warming trend going on, all of a sudden I'm thinking, you know, I got a lot more research to do. You know, things are changing. We got to think about different ways to keep being successful at hunting deer. And I guess if it gets down to just finding very fresh doe tracks every chance we can and hunting close to wherever we find them in order to get bucks while breeding is in progress, maybe that's going to be it. But I'm hopeful we'll figure out some other things to do as well that'll help keep our success ratio way up there like it has been for years. So, the Nordbergs didn't do too bad this year. We're pretty good at hunting bucks, and we continue to be good, even under these adverse conditions. Well, we'll talk to you more about these things in future videos, and after we've had time to think about it and study our maps and think about all the things we learned on this trip. And, you know, this kind of research might help you guys down south, you know, down in Mississippi and Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas, those kind of places where you hardly ever get snow for deer hunting. So maybe we'll be able to figure out some things that will help you as well. So, but keep in mind, fresh deer droppings have been the key this year, and that's a good key to start with. So thanks for watching. see you again soon.